Good evening. Oh, that's not going to work. Good evening. All right, better. I just want to make sure everyone's awake. So my name is Dr. Rich Faccio. I'm the principal here at New Hyde Park Memorial, and I want to welcome you to our incoming 7th grade parent orientation. This is a night that I look forward to every year. It's a night that we also get nervous about because for a lot of you, this is your first look at New Hyde Park. And we, of course, always want to put our best foot forward. So what I'd like to do first off by starting tonight is to welcome everyone that has a parent here for the first time. Raise your hand if you have a parent here, or a child here for the first time. Child for the first time. Okay? My chair people were like, and then, of course, those of you that have had a child here graduate. Anyone have someone graduate from here? Yes, I know there's a couple. I see some familiar faces. And then those of you that have a child here for 1 or 2 children here. Anyone have more than 2? More than 2? So a lot of you know who I am. You know what we do here, and that's great. But for those of you that don't, talk to them. Because I know one of the biggest things that is a fear for parents is how is my little 11-year-old, 12-year-old going to do in this big place? They came from GCP where there's 2 classes of 25 or Hillside where there's only 70 kids in the entire grade. How are they going to do when there's 1,780 students in the building? How does that work? How does that happen? And tonight is our job to kind of alleviate some of those fears, get you to know different people, get you to understand what we're all about, and that's what we're going to do. So by doing that, I want to start off by introducing the crew to my right, your left, our chair people for each of the departments. We have with us our art chairperson, which is Dr. Katrin Marino. We have, we'll hold applause to the end. All right. We have Ms. Sheena Kurian, teacher in charge of mathematics. We have Mr. Gordon McClear of science. Mr. Tom Galvin of social studies. Mr. Graham Odden, English and library. Ms. Sarah Janley, special education graded students. Ms. Christine Trupiano, special education ungraded students. Ms. Sarah Cervini, business and technology chairperson. Mr. Oronzo Ritigliano, world language chairperson. Mr. Patrick McGuire, physical education and athletics. And then Ms. Michelle Pesci, our chairperson of counseling and student support services, who we'll be hearing from later. Also, we have 3 really important members of our staff here tonight. They help me tremendously. I put their pictures up in case you don't know who they are. They love when I do that. We have our 3 assistant principals, and they really are a team, beyond team, and that's Mr. Frank Geritano, who has students A through G, Mrs. Gina Rodriguez, students H through P, and Ms. Rosemary DeGeneiro, students Q through Z. Now you heard the A through and Q through, and so that's the last name of the first letter of your last name of the alphabet. Our assistant principals and our counselors all work alphabetically. But what I have to say to you, and I use it, you see it up there, a true team. Just because your child has Mr. Geritano and it's A through G, doesn't mean that they wouldn't interact with Mrs. DeGeneiro or Mrs. Rodriguez. That's what we do. We work together as an entire team, and all of these chair people do as well. So instead of them standing there and you having to, they have some things to do because we're going to meet with them later. I'm going to have all the chair people. You can actually head back to the tables for a couple minutes and then to the gym if you don't mind. You can give them a round of applause now. As I mentioned, the building is a very large place. 3 floors, there is no 4th floor and no pool. So if your child asks that, there is none. But there's a lot of things going on. And one of the things we want to do is help you. So I see people, I know, I've been at these things as a parent. Don't worry about taking pictures. Don't worry about writing anything down. Because everything we have, there's a camera right in the middle of the aisle. That camera is recording everything we do. That camera will then the video will be then sent to me, and I will send it to all of you. All of that information, you want to watch me 4 or 5 times, you can do that. But if you want to get to a certain part of the presentation where there's information you need or want, then you can go and refer to it there. You'll also be sent the actual presentation as well. So all of this information is going to be given to you. And that's kind of what we do, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But before we do that, I'm really excited tonight because we have a student with us who is our senior student council president. Ava's been with us for 6 years. She has been so involved in the time she's been here, including this year. And what I'd like her to do is just to tell you a little bit about what it's like being a gladiator. What it's like for her over these last 6 years, because her and her parents were in your situation 6 years ago. And just to let us know what she thinks is great about being a gladiator here at New Hyde Park. So Ava Geigel, Senior.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Ava Geigel, and as Dr. Fatio mentioned, I am the Student Council President here at New Hyde Park. There's no doubt that New Hyde Park is a very special place for students, and I can tell after being a leader for not only this year, but in years past that this is true. It's evident to me how caring, inclusive, and hardworking we all are here. As a matter of fact, I can provide a perfect example of this because just this past week I devoted some time to help an English class of middle schoolers with their writing assignments. While I was there, I observed how dedicated they were to making sure that their research papers met all the requirements. In addition, they all asked many questions and were open to making their work even better. It amazed me at how even such a young age they desired to strive so far. This really proved the point to me that students here are always trying to do their best, and along the way pick each other up and motivate others to do their best when they might need it too. This is the true epitome of what it means to be a gladiator student, and I know that our future 7th graders will do the same. They will be challenged, but with hard work and help along the way, they will always strive to do their best. Thank you.
I said to Ava when she's done, please sneak out, because she's been here every night this week. She's been doing a lot, and I know she has a lot to do. So if you do see her sneak out, she has permission to do that, and it's great because she's way too busy. So the group of people that you saw leave are a really professional and talented group of individuals, the chair people of each of the departments. They work really hard to try to make sure that the education your child's going to receive is the best possible in each of their subject areas. And what we're going to have for you later is, after we're done in here, and you're not going to be in here very long, hopefully, we're going to have the chance for you to go into the gymnasium, and they're going to be around tables, and they'll be there to answer any of your questions about any of their subject areas that you might have, because there might be something you have. The assistant principals and myself will also be there, and then Ms. Pesci and the guidance counselors that you'll meet in a few minutes will be there as well to answer any of your questions. Because again, our goal tonight is to make you comfortable with sending your child to New Hyde Park Memorial, and that's an important piece. Because New Hyde Park Memorial is an amazing place. Academically, we have probably one of the most rigorous coursework schedules that a child can have over their 6 years here. And it's amazing. And there's some just stats I'll read to you. So 95% of our students have a daily attendance rate of being here, which is, if you look in the paper, you look at different results of different schools, having a 95% attendance rate is amazing. 99% of our seniors that graduated in June of 2022, 99% graduated. 97% of those students went on to college. 84% of our graduating seniors went to four-year colleges. 99% of our graduating class received New York State's Regent Diploma. Last year's graduating students were awarded more than $30 million in scholarships. They might not take it. As a parent, that's hard, but they don't take it all because some get more than others. But again, $30 million. Three of our current seniors are National Merit finalists. Now, we look around, we're a district of 5 high schools. And you'll hear that from now on. This is the Sewanaka Central High School District. You were part of New Hyde Park Garden City Park School District. They are 2 separate entities, 2 separate groups. With Sewanaka, we are part of Elmont, Cary, Floral Park, and New Hyde Park. And this one, Sewanaka, Elmont, Floral Park, Cary, and then us. With that, there were 5 total national finalists in the district. 3 of them were for New Hyde Park. So that says a lot about our building, a lot about our students. We had 123 students this second quarter receive high honor roll, high honor roll, or principal's list. All honor roll titles. We have over 300 students in 7th and 8th grade participate in our 17 junior high athletic teams. We have over 60 clubs and activities for your child to be part of. And when I say that with a reason. because I know a lot of people, and I'm the same way with my own children, academics is important. It's one of the most important things. But when you're looking for your child to leave here in 6 years, and it comes really fast, ask those parents that have had someone graduate from here, that you want them to be able to get into a school that they belong to get into. And they don't want someone with 100 average. They want someone with a 95 average that does a lot of different things. Ava's a great example of that. She has an extremely high average. I think she's a 98 or 99. But she's also doing 6 or 7 different things. And that's why she's getting into the school she wants to get into. So that's what you want to do. So all of these different things that I'm mentioning are things that you want your children to be part of as they grow. They don't have to be everything all at once, but they should be part of, and that's an important piece for us. So as we go through and we start transitioning your son or daughter to New Hyde Park Memorial, today was one of the first days that transition started for them. I hope they came home and told you about our teaser that they came to, Mary Poppins, and trying to get you to come either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. It's really the reason why we're in here. I gotta say, it's poor planning on my part. We picked this date, and not knowing, but in the auditorium right now is the dress rehearsal for Mary Poppins, so that's why we're not in there. You're in here. Or else we would be in the auditorium. But that's the first transition. They get to come and see students perform a lot of behind the scenes pieces from today. And I think if you talk, I know there's some students here that were here today, you talk to them, they had a great time. The next piece of that will be the transition, which I'll go over as you see on the slide here. But communication for us is probably the most important piece that we want you as parents to know. And communication is a two-way street. You need to communicate with us just as much as we want to communicate with you, and we really want that. You would think, oh, he's just saying that. No, we want to know if something's going on. We want to know if we can help. We want to be here to help you. So there's a couple of different ways we communicate. Our district's website, which is on this page, is a great way for you to find out different things. If you scroll through the page, we have news articles. We have a live feed that says what's going on. We have events. There's our incoming 7th grade parent orientation. We have athletic events. And then we have something what I put together, it's called the NHP 5-day planner. If you look at the little finger sticking out here, this is our 5-day planner. And it's really your go-to page for anything. And that gets emailed to you every Sunday night at 5:30. Email, text will come to your phone every Sunday night. Actually, you'll probably start getting it in another couple weeks because you'll be in our system in a few weeks. Remember, you're not currently in our system because you're at New Hyde Park Garden City Park, not the Sewantica system. Those packets that Ms. Pesci will talk about are extremely important. Even if you've been registered at New Hyde Park Garden City Park, you're going to hear this a couple times tonight, doesn't mean you're registered here. You have to fill out those packets and they have to be turned in. It's an important piece. But the 5-day planner is a key piece for you where you can find out anything you want about the building. This is the weekly planner. It tells the big highlights, the main things going on. Talks about the different activities. Supercalifragilistic afternoon for our Mary Poppins and our show. The honor roll list. Anything you want, it's on this page. So that's a great way for us to communicate with you. Also, we have our district website, as I said, and our building website. One of the things you started to get some communication from us through your building principals at the elementary district is the music and language choices form. Your 7th grader only has 2 choices when it comes to class. They have their language that they want to choose, and they have their music choice that they want. They need to choose one of each. So I know right now about 130 of you have filled out that form. About 100 of you have not. So what I'd ask is tomorrow it's going to be resent to you by the elementary school principals that you please fill it out. If you've done it, you do not have to do it again. I would also ask if it does ask for choices. So when it says, what's your language choice? Spanish, Italian, or French? Put your first choice. So let's say it's Spanish. Then it asks for your second choice. Don't put Spanish. And then it asks for your third choice. Don't put Spanish. Some of you did that. I caught it. You might get a different choice now. No. So there's the 3 choices: Spanish, Italian, and French. And then music, it's band, chorus, orchestra, or general music. Please list those choices in the order that we asked. I know someone said to me, I filled it out, and then I realized I clicked on the wrong one and I filled it out again. We're going to choose the last one you submitted. Okay, so what I do is I sort it, and then I see your name 3 times, and I choose the most recent time because it's timestamped. And we will choose the most recent time. Okay, so that way if you understand, just by chance if you forgot, did I do that a couple weeks ago? Let me do it again. We're going to choose the most recent one, so just so you understand that, okay? But we really hope that you get that done for us so that way we can make the schedule. Ms. Rodriguez goes through and does the master schedule for the building. It's daunting. You figure there's 135 teachers and 1,780 students, like I said, to try to create a schedule to make this place run is daunting, and we need that information. The other things to help your students transition to the building, we have orientation days. So they came here today for the teaser. We have them coming back up on April 27th, which is New Hyde Park Road School and Garden City Park students. And then we have them coming up on the 28th, Hillside and Manor Oaks. We're not sure about the time right now. I know the elementary district is working out busing, but my guess is it'll be from like 10 to 12. But they'll be here, they'll go into the auditorium, they'll see some additional things. They'll walk around and have tours of the building. They'll have a little snack. They'll actually get to meet, hopefully, some students that are current 7th graders and older to get their impressions and ask questions, because no matter how many times I ask them, do you have a question? A lot of times they don't ask us, but they will ask other students. So that's a good thing, so maybe they get their questions answered. But those are 2 key dates for them to start that transition process. For you as parents, again, I know it's scary to say, how is my 11-year-old going to interact with an 18-year-old in the same building? It really works. It really, really does. And they don't have problems. The problems are the 8th graders with the 8th graders. It's usually what it is. It's never the 7th graders with the 7th graders, it's the 8th graders with the 8th graders. Not seniors with 7th graders and juniors, that's not an issue, knock on wood, but it's never been in my time here. But for you, what we want to do to alleviate that fear is, I've set up 3 dates. I tried to do it around what would be lunchtime for most people, April 18th at noon, April 28th at 1 p.m., and May 17th at 11 a.m. Those are 3 times that you can come up and come into the building, right in the main entrance here, exit 12, right by the front door, where I will meet you, or one of the assistant principals will meet you, and we'll spend an hour. No more than an hour. I'm going to get you out of here within the hour to walk around the building during the day. You can see what it's like. You can see what the hallways are like during class and in between classes. Those are all during lunch periods. You can see what lunch is like. You can see, we'll stop and peek in some classrooms. You'll see class size. You'll see classrooms. So it's an important piece for you. If you would like to come, you're more than welcome to do that. Again, this is a parent piece, not a student piece. So you're not to bring your child to that. Usually we have sometimes where we have 30 people walking around with me. Other times we have 4. Just depends on who shows up at the time that's listed. But those times are there. If by chance you can't make one of those times, please call the main office and they'll try to set something up individually or maybe with another small group if we have enough that we can have you walk around. But we want you in the building so you can see, yes, there's 9 periods, 43 minutes, with 4 minutes in between each period for kids to get to class. Students are not sprinting to get to class, but they all get to class. They all survive. All these years they've survived. So yours will as well, I know. So those are important pieces, and the last piece of transition for us is in August. It's a date to have on your calendar because I know your child will want to be here with you. I will tell you, I ripped the Band-Aid off. We separate the children to one area and the parents to another. And that's where they go off and we give them their schedule. They get locks for their lockers. We do different activities with them. And you get to be back with me and the assistant principals and Ms. Pesci to go over a couple different pieces. But they get to go and start their career here at New Hyde Park Memorial. So it's a great day. That'll be we try to get that over at about noon, so it starts around 9 and ends around noon. But you'll get a lot more information about that over the end of the school year and over the summer, but I wanted you to have the date. Okay, so that's there. So you've heard from me for enough. I'll come back at the end, but I want to now introduce Ms. Michelle Pesci. She is our chairperson for the Counseling and Student Support Services Department, and she's going to go through a couple different things with you.
Good evening, parents and some students. I actually had the opportunity yesterday. I went to GCP for a read aloud. So I was with both 6th grade classes yesterday at GCP, reading them a story. It was really nice. And then even today, when we had all the students here, I got to see them in the auditorium. So I am going to speak to you a little bit about our department, who we are. Basically, we are what our title says, Student Support Services. We are made up of 8 school counselors. We have 2 social workers. We have a school psychologist. We have 3 speech and hearing teachers, 2 full-time nurses, an attendance officer, and a registrar. We are here for every step of the way. Like Dr. Faccio spoke about, we will be basically the face of the orientation program as well as the administration. We are the first people to talk to your children about their schedule, to bring them around the building, to really work with them in this transition from their elementary school to the middle school. Upon entering 7th grade, each of your children will be assigned a school counselor for middle school. Like Dr. Faccio said, we do things alphabetically here. We have 2 school counselors, and they are with us here tonight. If your last name begins with the letters A through K, you will be assigned to Mr. Dominic Gagnon.
Pleasure.
And if your last name begins with the letters L through Z, you will be assigned to Miss Abigail Tenisella.
Hi, everyone.
So these counselors will be there for your children. We will introduce them. We work together. Just because they may have one school counselor doesn't mean they may not see all of us. But, oh yeah, this is the rest of our team down here as well. We have 6 high school counselors. When your children's transition to the high school level, grades 9 through 12, they'll be assigned a new counselor who will stay with them consistently through high school. Some of the things that our middle school counselors do, we do a lot of classroom push-ins. We have 8 character education programs that we run throughout the school year. We have some surrounded by superhero themes. We have many different themes to kind of get the kids engaged. We also run what's called Gladiator Game Day in the middle school cafeterias to try to get students to meet each other, to get to know each other and kind of break the ice a little bit. We run groups before school, after school, during the school day, based on different topics to really get students engaged. And our doors are always open. We have an open door policy in our office, which will explain to all of your children anything that they need. Like I said, we are really here for students' academic, career, social, emotional, academic, every piece of the puzzle to try to get them to succeed in high school. We focus on advocacy, equity, and opportunity for all of our students, so we really want to try to get them involved. You know, that's the best way for them to get comfortable here. So we will have a club fair in the beginning of the school year. If a child who's really nervous about going to the club fair, doesn't know who to talk to get involved with something, they can come to see us. And now the registration. Before we can really help your children, we have to make sure that they register. So like Dr. Faccio said, you really have to make sure that you're filling out the registration packet. I just want to go over a couple things that are in those packets. You don't have to open them now, but there are 2 pieces to your registration packets. Just going to refer to mine so I don't forget anything. So in your packet, the first main piece will be your actual registration. It's the larger, thicker packet you have here. You can either fill it out paper, or if you flip over to the second page, there's a QR code where you can do this digitally as well. If you do the digital copy, you just have to scan in the documents and make sure that you upload them, but we will accept the packet either way. If you have any questions about filling out the registration packet, Ms. Licata, our registrar, is willing to help any family. If you make an appointment to come in, she'll meet with you or give her a phone call. It's just hard if you show up sometimes and don't have an appointment. I don't want anyone to have to wait, so just please call ahead and she'll help you. We don't accept registration packets unless they are complete. So if you do have any questions, please make sure that you complete those. The other piece of the packet is the health portion of the packet. And I'm just going to refer to my notes from my nurse's office because they gave me some notes to make sure I said. So in your packet, you'll find the required New York State health examination form, which has to be completed by your child's physician, and an integral health history form to be completed by you, the parent. Please be aware that you all have to have a physical submitted for your 7th graders no later than October 1st of 2023. Physicals must be performed within a year of the first day of school. Therefore, physicals dated before September 5th of this past year cannot be accepted, if that makes sense. Also, there's an emergency contact card. Please complete both sides of that card and return that as well. And make sure on those contact cards, if there's any allergies or medical conditions that you'd like to have us be aware of, that we know that as well. These can be dropped off to the school, you can mail them back if you'd like, or like we said, you can fill out your registration packets online, whatever's easier for you. You can also call my office if you have any questions about the registration packets. Ms. Licata is in my department, so we will work together to make sure that you don't, we figure it out together. And I'll turn it back over to Dr. Faccio. Thank you.
So just going through my list of things, I did miss somebody. Oh, great, she's coming back in. Good. Thanks, Mr. Gagnon. So there's one person I did miss who is extremely involved in everything we do. Usually is here more than anybody in the building. And that's our Director of Student Activities, Christine Boswinkle-Blum. And you'll see her a lot, but anything that goes on student-wise, she's got her hands in it and is doing a lot. So sorry for missing you, Christine. I really went over. So, you know, we don't know where your child's going to be 6 years from now. You don't know where your child's going to be 10 years from now. But we want to make a big statement in their lives to make sure that we can help them go wherever they want to go. And that's an important piece. And I know that's what you want. That's what I want for all of my children. That's, I'm sure, what you want for yours as well. I guess right now I'd like to open it up to if there's any non-content. So if it's based on math, science, social studies, English, hold those till you get in the gym. But if there's any questions you want to ask as a parent, we have myself and the 3 assistant principals here. Feel free. Raise your hand. Wow. Okay, in the back.
We've heard something about maybe you doing a camp?
Oh, yes. Great. Perfect. Thank you. So there is a summer enrichment camp that will go on. That's another transition piece that will be sent out to you as well. That's for any incoming 7th grade or 8th grader that's currently in the building. It's in July. It is 4 weeks in July, Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 11:30, free of charge. It's a great way for your child to come and get acclimated to the building. It's a non-academic. Now, we do academic things, but it's not, they're going to be learning math, science, English, social studies. It's more of a social and emotional piece where they come in, they get to know other students. And really, you'll hear me say this in August. You'll hear me say it to your children a lot. They might have come from all 4 of those buildings that are listed out in the hallway. To me, that's the past. They were now all gladiators. And they're New Hyde Park gladiators, and that's a great way for them to get to know each other. I know that's the other concern people have is your child's coming here and they have their friends. You'll hear this in August, they're going to get their schedule on August 28th. They might not be in any class with any of their friends for the last 6 years. And if you call to ask Ms. Pesci to change it, she's going to go, no, I'm sorry, we can't do that. If you call me, I'm going to go, no, I'm sorry, we can't do that. If you say, I'd like them on the same team, because our middle school is broken up into teams, the blue team and the white team, they'll be put on a team, randomly. But if you say, but my son's not with his best friend, okay. They'll get a new best friend eventually, or they'll have a good friend, they'll have more best friends. And that's an important, and I'm being lighthearted about it, but it's also very serious because we don't do that. It's, again, think about the cogs and wheels of 1,800 students. And you're saying to me, I want to move my child, and again, we're all here for our own children, I understand that. But when it comes to a building running and functioning well, we can't do that. So their locker, this is the other piece, they get a locker assigned to them. I will tell you, there could be a 7th grader with a locker next to a senior. Again, this is my 11th year, I haven't had a problem. Mr. Kern, you graduated from here, correct? He's now one of my teachers. There was no problems. That's not what this is about. You might say, wait, my 7th grader's locker is on the 3rd floor and all their classes are on the other side of the building. That's their locker for 6 years. Over 6 years, that locker will be really close to some classes and really far from others. But it changes year after year. So it's one of those things where, again, that's not something we can do because we're very full. We have a very full building. All of our classrooms are used just about every period of every day, which is rare in a high school, middle high school. But it's an important piece. Other questions? Yes?
The August 28th orientation, is it compulsory to attend or if we cannot attend,
So if you can attend, what it is, that's the Monday before we start. It's a week before we start. We've had people that cannot attend. Again, they've planned vacations already and they know they're going to be away. We understand that. The only thing I can say to you is your child would not get their schedule until you come and get it from them. So we're off that week. We're in the building that week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So if you needed to stop in, we could give you the stuff we gave out, but it would just not be encompassing. So you would miss some of the presentations, they'd miss some of the activities. It's not mandatory, but I would suggest that if you can be here, you're here. But if you planned a trip, you have a wedding, you have something going on, it's not the end of the world. It's just that they're either going to have to come on the first day of school and get their information, or maybe the couple days after that if you're back in town. Okay?
I have a follow-up question on the camp, right? You mentioned July. The student has to come all day or they
So
can...
we expect them to be here the 4 days for the 4 weeks. If there's a problem with that, please let me know, and let my office know, and we'll try to figure something out. But if they're going to miss 2 weeks, there's no benefit, because there are some cumulative things that they do, some projects they do. It's just one of those things where the benefit is being for the 4 weeks. We usually have, it's 8:30 to 11:30, and how many is usually about half the class usually comes. About 150, 125. Yes?
Do you might have said it, but for that camp, how do you register for it?
You'll get, by the time we start the registration process, you'll already be in my system. You're going to start getting communication from me. One of the things you'll realize is you're going to start getting a lot of stuff. Please pay attention to that, even though it's a lot, because we want to overburden you with stuff so that you have the information. And I mean that very sincerely. You're going to get a lot. Please read it, check it out. We do a lot of things electronically. And I know the elementary schools will move to that as well, but there's no Friday folder. Everything is done digitally. So you're going to get a text, you're going to get an email. Like if I had you in my system tonight, and I know you did get an email this morning from the elementary district, but tonight you would have gotten a text and an email and probably a phone call. All three saying this is what's going on. Any big events, you're going to get those. You're going to get emails through us throughout the day that's giving information. But it'll be a link you get that you fill out, and then once it's filled out, there's pretty much your child's in. There's no, you're not going to exclude anyone, I would think. Great question. 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock are the classes. We have students that get here. The building opens up at around 7:50 for students that want to come in, and then they are required to leave at the end of the day, unless they're staying for something like an activity, sporting activity, or we have a homework center that starts from October to May, where they can stay from 3 to 3:50 in the library. Okay, so they need to be here, and then they get picked up out front or out in the back if you need as well, based on where you live. But
How can we find out more information about after-school activities?
so the hard part about this is we're making your child find out about some of these things first. And then you will as well. So again, everything they're going to find out about, you'll have access to. We have, the first day of school is the day after Labor Day, I think. And then that following Monday, we have an activities fair. Actually, right out here on the lawn. Usually it's a nice day. If not, we do it in here then. But that's where Ms. Voswinkle-Blum, our student activities director, has all of the clubs and activities and their advisors have a fair. There's tables, there's sign-ups, there's kids talking about it, they're cheering, they're trying to get kids to come in part of their club, and they then go and sign up. We will also have a list of those activities on the website. It's actually on there now, where all the clubs and activities where they can participate in are listed, so they can then join. But it's up to the children to join. We're starting again now. So the transition from 6th grade to 7th grade is also a transition from people doing things for them to them start doing things themselves. It's a very tough transition, especially for us. Not us meaning us, but as parents. For us, we're used to this. We understand that, and we try to encourage them. Athletics as well. So the first day of school is that Tuesday. The day after, we will have an athletics meeting. We have 4 seasons. Fall, winter 1, winter 2, and spring. They can participate in any one of those seasons and participate in all the different sports that are offered. But the day after the first day is when we have a meeting for them to attend if they want to participate. Again, you will get a lot of information about that. Both things. There's the club fair we're going to tell you that it's happening so you can say, hey, are you staying after tomorrow? On Monday, I mean, because that's when it happens. Are you going to the athletic meeting the next day? You'll have, Mr. McGuire does a great job of sending out plenty of information for you to know about athletics, and we, for the academics piece, will share that with you. Other questions? Yes?
Like the academic, the summer 2 weeks, is there
Four.
Or four?
Four.
Sorry, my apologies. Is there an like a athletic one that we can?
There are athletic camps. They're run through different pieces. I know there's a baseball camp that goes the first 2 weeks, I think, in July. I think there's a soccer camp possibly, but that's not run through our athletic department. That's run, and you get, actually, you'd probably get something at the elementary school in the past from those as well. Okay? Other questions? Yes?
What about the busing situation? How do we find out about that?
So if you live a mile and a half or further, you probably get busing. It's not your mile and a half, like it's a crow's fly, and it's a calculation that a bus company does for us. But you would have to call our central office. And if you want to catch me at the end, I can give you that phone number. Anyone needs it. I can even tell you it now. It's 488-9800, and then you just ask for the transportation department, and they would tell you if you actually qualify for a bus or not. But it is a mile and a half, and it's so interesting. So I've had a lot of people do this and like, well, but if I put the front door here and my front door, it's a mile 1.48. But they're like, no, it's the corner of the property is where the property is, and it's your corner of your property. So it's a whole calculation, something I stay completely away from. Well, it is. So that's the number to call, and they'll help you and figure that out. Okay? I know there were two other questions. Another one over here.
With the amount of students in this building, how do you guys provide security for all these students?
Great question. So if you came in, and you're going to see this as you walk by, we have a new security vestibule. That is going to be the only entrance next year that people will be allowed to come in the building. Any adults will not be allowed in any other entrance. We have two right now. We have by our cafeteria, our next cafeteria over here. That'll only be students. This one will only be adults. And students too, during the day. You will have to come in, sign in, you'll have to show your ID. As you see the vestibule, you'll have to put your ID under the window. They'll scan that. We have what's called a Raptor system. That checks your ID. If you are a sex offender, have any legal issues that you should not be around children, we will not let you in the building. And then once you're cleared, you'll get a badge printed out with your picture from your license, and that you'll have to wear when you go anywhere. You won't see this room very much over the next 6 years. You won't see the academic hallways very much over the next 6 years. Your experience will be in our auditorium lobby and in our gym area after school. If you're here during the school day, you'll be escorted back and forth. We have 7 security guards that are here during the day. They are stationed around the building, always constantly moving. We have teachers that if they're not teaching and not monitoring students, they're doing hall duty, so they're monitoring the hallways. If you come and see the tour during one of those dates, you'll see. One of the things I take pride in, and the assistant principals do an amazing job with this, is our hallways are empty. We don't want people in the hallway during the day, because if we're in the hallway, we're distracting the students in the classroom. And you'll see that as you walk around with me, and I'll say that to you, because we're like the fish in the fishbowl when we walk by. You're going to walk through this cafeteria with me, and every single head will turn. Because the students are like, what are they doing here? What are adults doing here? The only adults I know are the teachers. They shouldn't be here, and we take that very seriously. All doors are completely locked. Okay, so if they leave through a door, they're not getting back in that door. They'd have to come through the 2 entrances that, again, the students are able to access during the day. But we do not allow people in the building unless they're escorted to and from. So you might have a meeting. We have all our junior parents are coming in this year and meeting with the counselors to talk about college planning. So mom and dad come in, they sit with their child, and they meet with the counselor and talk about the college planning. They're badged, escorted to the guidance office, counseling office, and they sit and meet, and they're walked out. There's no wandering around the building. If you're on the 2nd floor, someone's going to confront you. It's a good question. Thank you. Another one was over here. Yes?
Does the school have a junior ROTC or any pre-military activities?
No, we do not have a junior ROTC here. We've never had one in my experience here. We do have the Army, the Marines, sometimes the Coast Guard or Navy come in and set up a table in the cafeteria with conversation, but there are no ROTC right now in this building. In the district, actually, I don't think any one of the 5 high schools have any ROTC. Just so you're aware too, the only time your child is kind of segregated into a grade level is in this room. This is our junior high cafeteria. So it's grade 7, 8, and 9 here. Next door through that hallway is the senior high cafeteria, 10, 11, and 12. That's the only time really there's a segregation in the hallway. They're in the hallway walking throughout the day mixed up with grade 7 through 12. Other questions? Yes?
Hi. In the past, Memorial has provided medical physicals that the students can take in the summer. Will
Yes.
you be doing that this year as well?
We will be. August, again, information you'll be getting probably at the end of June, beginning of June, end of June, middle of July, end in August, beginning of August. I think don't quote me on it, I think the date is August 8th, but I'm not sure, where we will have doctors from LIJ come in to the building. Your child would come in, be able to get the physical that they need for athletics, and then they would be cleared that way. It's in the building, it's free, there's no cost. It's usually like from 8 a.m. to 11 or 12 p.m. where they have a time frame. But again, you'll get tons of information about that from Mr. McGuire. But yes, they do that. We still do that. Yes?
Can you talk a little bit about the expectations around student cell phone policy?
Yeah. So, I have 6 kids, right? So, I think cell phones are the bane of existence as an educator. As a dad, I got it for my children because I want to know they're safe if they needed, and what happened was my son was playing lacrosse, and I wasn't with him, and there was thunder where he was, and there wasn't where I was, so he called me, and that's why we started this, my 24-year-old now. So we understand it's needed. We do not allow students to use them in the classrooms. They're allowed to use them in the hallways. But we're having a little bit of a problem. Students are starting to sneak. You know, I mean, people don't realize that I can see everything everyone's doing here. I know some people are looking down at their phone right now. And that happens in class as well. So we know that, and I have a couple of my teachers here, and they can tell you cell phones are awful. We have every student, your child on the 28th will receive an iPad. Every single child has an iPad. They don't need a cell phone. We always tell parents, if there's a problem with a cell phone, and I tell a parent, your child should not have a cell phone in this building. Well, how am I going to get in touch with them? How did our parents get in touch with us? We have a number, 488-9500. It's the main office. You want to talk to your child at any time, call us. We will let them know. It's usually, and they're my vouchers. Every time I have a presentation, my mother calls me. And it's true, right? And every time she calls, I'm shocked she hasn't done it yet, and I don't plan it, she just does it. No offense, moms, but every time we ask the student, who's on the phone? It's my mom. And you go, hi, Mom. Yep, it's Mom. They're not calling each other. They're texting each other, actually snapping each other now. They don't even text anymore. Or they're on TikTok. Again, another wonderful thing. So it is a problem, but we don't allow it in the classroom. We do not take them currently away from the student in the room. I know some places they have like a little sleeve where you have to walk in and put your cell phone. We are not, as a district, going to be liable for the $1,000 cell phone that breaks because they put it in that slot. If you're going to give them that cell phone, they're going to be responsible while they're here, or else we're going to have conversations with you to say they need to work on that. Okay, but again, classrooms, no. Hallways, okay. Cafeteria, okay. So that gives you a little bit of an understanding of where we are with that. I will tell you the biggest problem is social media, because it's one of the biggest targets for bullies. And we need to work on that with our children to let them know that, first of all, whatever they put up does not go away. Everyone thinks Snapchat goes away. It doesn't. Because what happens is I'll open Snapchat, that picture shows up, and someone else takes a screenshot of it right away. Then they think it goes away in 30 seconds. It doesn't go away. It's always there. And they'll always get caught. The 3 of them are amazing. They're like mini detectives. They're better than mini detectives, I think. So, other questions? Okay. So, as I said, the information that we have up here, it's going to be sent to you. I just got to give Mr. Kern a chance to process this video, go through and organize it, and then it'll be sent out to you.